Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning. June 15th, middle of June already. Good morning. A lot of rain last night here. We were busy last night. Let's do a quick sound check here. I always forget to do the sound checks first on my mic. So make sure it's working. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Most times it does. Is that me, Jamie? That's me. All right, good. Sound check done. I don't have to do it. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I think the notification just went out, right? Notification went out that I am live. Good morning, everybody tuning in. Good morning, Joel. If you're tuning in, just drop a comment, hashtag live, or if it's on the replay, hashtag replay. It's a little later than normal today. It's about 8:30. I've been late 2 days to the office this week, an hour behind every morning. I don't have much to do today, do I, Jamie?
We have a lot to do
We have a lot to do every day, Jamie's saying. I thought I had an easy schedule today.
No.
Thought I delegated a bunch of stuff out, and now, all right. So, one of the big things Jamie and I are working on right now is Italy, our Italy trips. As you know, Italy has been pushed off our travel trips to Italy. If you don't know what we do, basically, we take you to our friends' vineyards in Italy. I got to just check this message. This is important. Let's see. Hold on, folks. Oh, sorry, folks. This is important. Or can it wait? All right. So, if you don't know, Jamie and I, in the past few years, have taken guests to Italy and Spain, and we do the Finger Lakes now. Basically, we take you to our friends' vineyards. We have lots of contacts in Italy. We have a lot of amazing contacts in Italy, people we know personally, a lot of great vineyards, and we take you to our friends' vineyards, and we have a great time for 8-9 days, 1 to 2 vineyards a day, some great cities. And we just don't do one part of Italy. We do a lot of parts of Italy. We've done a lot of parts of Italy, and we're looking to expand into Sicily, which is one of our next trips, Jamie and I, Sicily. Again, I apologize. Okay. All right. So, we've never been to Sicily. We have a lot of Sicilian contacts. We have a lot of Sicilian wines we've bought now and in the past, and some great connections there. So we're just waiting for Jamie and I to scout out Sicily and go and do the route, and then report back and set up a trip. But we've done everywhere else. We've done Emilia Romagna. We've done Abruzzo. We've done, of course, Lazio, Tuscany. Umbria, Veneto, Emilia Romagna, Piedmonte, Campania, Apulia. We've never really done anything in Marche. We've been through Marche, but we just really haven't we don't really have any wines from Marche. Marche is a region on the east side, going about 3/4 of the way up the boot. It's near Emilia Romagna. It's above Abruzzo. We have a couple of wines, or we've had a couple of wines in the past. We don't have anything on there right now. But Marche is supposed to be beautiful, and we have not done Sardinia. But Jamie and I have been working, rearranging what was supposed to be a trip this November. We have the itinerary here, and we've just been working with our contacts in Italy, trying to make things, figure out things out. So right now, the current situation, if we go to Italy, is we need a COVID test. You need a negative test to get into the country, and they test you here. And before you live 3 days prior, and then they test you in the airport when you arrive there. And if you test positive, you have to be behind for, I guess, 3 days or something. You have to quarantine. When you come back into the U.S., if you don't test positive for our CDC, then you're stuck there for 3 days. So it's a little tricky right now. We're hoping that eases up as we progress forward, because I would hate for anybody to pay for a trip and then get stuck somewhere, stuck here, or get stuck there and get quarantined. So we're just not comfortable booking a trip right now under those circumstances. Those circumstances can change instantly. I know a lot of friends that have gone to, a few friends that have gone to Mexico, and basically in Mexico, you need nothing to get in and just a negative test to get out, per our CDC. And my friend who was there last week was like, it's a joke, the test coming back. They don't want you there. They don't want to be responsible for you. They want you back in the U.S. So he's like, they think they just pass everybody as negative and send them back. So Italy's a little tougher out of all the countries right now to get into, in and out. So we're just kind of, it's a waiting game right now. It's literally just a waiting game to see what happens with travel. Now there's insurances you can buy and things like that, but what if I got stuck as the host, or Jamie got stuck and we were 3 days behind on the tour? That wouldn't be fun. Of course, Jamie would be there, or I would be there if she got stuck. But it just wouldn't be fun. So right now in Italy, they're only doing groups of like 12 to 15 people. They're doing 12 people. 12 people is what our tour partner there suggests. 12 people, which we're supposed to be going now from November. Now we're pushing it off to April 2nd to April 10th is the next dates that our guys are working on there, our contacts are working on. So April 2nd to the 10th, we can only take 12 people. You would leave on the 1st. You'd fly out of here on the 1st, April 1st. You would land the morning of the 2nd, and by noon we'd be on the bus and heading to our first destination. And some really amazing cities in southern Italy. So some of you have read our website and you saw the Tuscany trip that was supposed to be in April. We're moving all those dates now 6 months again forward. The good news is that we only need 12 people to do these. So we might be able to sell 2 trips. I don't know 100%. I have people that are interested in Tuscany, but when I tell them about Apulia, they're like, oh my gosh, yes. My Apulia trip our Apulia trip might be sold out, so we might have to make a second trip or push everybody off to the fall. I'm not 100% sure. So these things are happening, and it's just a lot of uncertainty right now. So we apologize for that. Jamie and I thought about going to Baja, Mexico, to the Guadalupe Valley, which has over 100 wineries, amazing wineries in northern Mexico on the Baja California there. It's just north of the 30th parallel. We've had wine from there. We have some contacts in that region. The best restaurants in Mexico, they say, are there. World-class wineries. I mean, there's some really, New York Times several years ago wrote up some of these Mexican wines, and they're producing some really great stuff. Cool nights, high in the mountains, it's dry. The grapes grow good there. So there's a good wine community there. Very tourist-friendly, very safe in that part. It's about an hour and a half south of Tijuana, if that puts anything in perspective. And it's the Guadalupe Valley. So Jamie and I might book a trip down there and go check it out and see what's going on down there, because we're interested too. And that might be another area in the future for us to travel and bring guests to. So, but we have to go check it out first. We wouldn't take anybody there without checking it out first. So that's the story with that. We did a great beer dinner last night. If you were here for the beer dinner, thank you very much. We were busy last night. We felt like the doctor's office. We didn't have enough room in the restaurant, and it started pouring, right? It started pouring. And we have a tent out back, but it's hard to send people out in the pouring rain, and sometimes the water will build up and start flowing or start building up under the tent. So we were stressed out a little bit last night, and it got very busy. We're sorry if we had to turn you away, because we turned away a lot of people last night, and even phone calls for to-go orders we had to turn away. As we were the whole inside the dining room was busy, and as soon as it died down, the rain, everybody for the beer dinner migrated outside. So we had both going on simultaneously. But we do these beer dinners. Jimmy, when's the next beer dinner? Do you have a date for it yet?
No.
It's in July.
No.
So I was thinking about doing Christmas in July.
It's going to be the 12th.
The 12th. We were thinking about doing Christmas in July. The famous theme of Christmas in July, right? Because we have all these cool Christmas beers. I got a few Christmas beers that we could pull out and do some really cool Christmas beers. They wouldn't all be Christmas per se beers. There'd be like a barrel-aged pumpkin beer in there, the Headless Heron. There would be I have an Anchor. This is Scaldi's. No, this is Corsinok. I don't know if I have any Scaldi's Christmas left. But all these are a few years old, right? So this is 2008. This is a 2008 vintage. All of our beers that we do on our beer dinners are rare craft beers. They're not just craft beers. They're rare craft beers. Beers that they don't make anymore. Beers that have been aging, beers that were barrel aged, special occasion beers, beers that are one-offs that actually have what we call the legs to age, which mean there's high alcohol, there's some kind of component in there that makes these beers very ageable. Most beers are not ageable like this. So super excited about our beer dinners. Last night there was just some amazing, the lambics. This is a different lambics than we served last night. It's the same producer, just a different region. And we have these. There's how many bottles are made here? Let's see. So 275 and 600 liter French oak. I mean, there's literally 2,400 bottles of this were made. 2,400 bottles of this beer were made, and that's it. And this is a 2011 vintage. Some of the James Bean, which is this coffee infused. This was last night's James Bean. It's a Allagaster's triple that's barrel aged in Jim Beam barrels. Jim Beam, not Bean, Jim Beam barrels, and infused a little bit of coffee in here, a little cold pressed coffee. Really good beers last night. The Lambics is really like the champagne of beers. Really awesome. And it's not the traditional fruit lambics; it's more like the goose style. So crisp, champagne like, really awesome. So we do these beer dinners and we pull out these really cool, awesome, rare beers that you cannot find anywhere. 4 beers and a dish for $29. We did our blue cheese mussels last night. My friend Angelo has a restaurant in Newton, Connecticut, Sally Pepe's, and when Jamie and I go there, we get his gorgonzola blue cheese mussels that are delicious. So we created that dish we recreated it last night here, and I think it was a success. July 12th, we'll get the specs on that or the artwork done and get that rocking and rolling. Our next wine dinner is this next Monday, right, Jamie?
Yes.
Wine dinner this next Monday. We're going to be focusing, I believe, on some Italian wines. I got some really cool new Italian wines in. This wine is from Apulia. It's a Nero di Troia. This winery is a castle on top of the mountain in about 3/4 of the way up in Apulia. Unfortunately, they're a little bit out of our range to get to, as far as on our next Apulian trip to Apulia, but I would love to take everybody there. It's literally like this, and it's not only a castle, it's like an octagonal castle that sits up on top of the mountain, and it's just like, it is stunning. We have their Nero di Troia, and we have their Moscato in. Really cool stuff from this winery. It's a co-op, 28 families run this co-op. 28 families put their resources together many years ago and made wine, and they became successful and have this amazing building and winery that is just making some amazing stuff down there. Interesting enough, there's another winery that we don't know about in Italy that there's kind of like, like when the universe sends you like messages, like hints, or you trip over something right in front of you. So we've been ordering LIV vodka, because that's our new house vodka. LIV from Long Island the distilling. That's our new house vodka, and there's a winery in southern Italy called Masseria Livilla, Liveli. So it's Li. It says LIV on the box, and it matches sort of. It can be mistaken for LIV vodka, but it's Masseria Livilla, and the warehouse that we buy our vodka from misskewed this. They put this in. Somebody in the store said, "Oh, this is LIV vodka," and they took this Italian wine and stuck it in the slots of the vodka. And so we order LIV vodka because we're almost out, and up shows us rosé from Apulia. I'm like, oh, and the driver just left the stuff here. He didn't like wait for anybody. He didn't call the number they're supposed to call on the back door. He just left the boxes there and left. So we call, get a pickup, get more product in. We weren't here on Friday, and they came at a very busy time, and they dropped off what appeared to be more LIV, but it's more Masseria Livilla. So now we have their rosé and we have one of their reds. And I said to the salesman, I said, what's up with this wine? Like, he goes, well, Marcus, this wine is amazing. He was really amazing. It's actually more expensive than the vodka you were buying. I'm going to come taste you on it. and I look up the winery, and of course it's in Apulia, and it's like right where we're going. And I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, so there's two signs here that this vodka has, this wine has shown up at our door. So I'm like, okay. I told the wine rep Patrick. I said, okay, this must be a sign. It's meant to be that we have to try this wine, because this wine is just like, we're tripping over it now unintentionally. So we're gonna try this wine next week and maybe make a connection at this winery and see how that goes. I think it's kind of a sign when stuff like that happens that taste the wine, we're giving you another chance. So that's that. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. We'll see what happens. But the rep is like, oh my gosh, Marcus, this wine is amazing. Great wine, great facility. So that's it with that. So this next Monday night we'll do our wine dinner, 4 wines in a dish in the garden. I'm gonna try to get the wines published earlier and the dish published earlier. That's what we've been trying to do lately. We were able to do that last week with the wine dinner, and even the beers I knew ahead of time. So. And I guess I can actually know the next beers, the Christmas beers, Christmas in July. Get some nice holiday celebration beers to our Christmas in July. I talked about yesterday about the Ellenville Streets. I'm not really sure what's happening with Ellenville Streets. Just don't know. A lot of there's no communication with those restaurants about what's really going on, when it's opening, when it's closing, who's playing music, things like that. So I apologize for that, because we were all gung-ho about it. We looking at all the stuff we bought for the streets, which is where we put the tables and chairs out in the streets, and they close it off for the cars. We invested over $3,000 in new tables and chairs and popcorn machine, cotton candy machine. We're going to give out free popcorn out there, and so we invested in this, and over $3,000 to make it fun and better than last year, and it's just fizzling out right now. So they cut off Sundays altogether. I was told in a roundabout way that Sundays were slow and it wasn't working. What's not working is the marketing. The marketing here is not what's working. If they had communication, every restaurant could promote it and be gung-ho and promote it to their network and post it and send emails out, and the newspaper can do more and cover it and things like that. I think that every day would be a success. But again, it's just, no communication. So we have this great platform set up called Discover Ellenville, which somebody had set up that. And I have a lot of issues with the Discover Ellenville program and all how they handle social media here locally. We do social media for other restaurants, and we do for other businesses as well. We've done help them, consult them, coach them. I do speeches on social media, at trade shows, and that's a whole nother can of worms. I don't want to get into it on this channel, but I'm just not happy with the way that the whole thing with the village and the town, how they set that up and the contract that they accepted. I think they spent way too much and didn't get enough. And it's not their fault. They're not social media experts. I just wish they would have asked me for advice on how these things should work. Ad spend versus content versus building, because the program came with zero ad spend. To pay $100,000 or $80,000 or $9,000 on branding and this kind of stuff with zero ad spend is a little bit insane, very much insane. And it's money that the village and everybody really doesn't have to do that. So that's a whole nother can of worms I don't want to get into on here. But we could make the streets work very well if we all communicated, sat down, had a committee, chipped in some funds to do this. I mean, I've already spent over $3,000. I've already spent over $3,000 to do this. Like, I would be like, okay, how much is this week for a band, for a musician? Like, like how much is it this week for this? I mean, we're told like, oh yeah, restaurants need to chip in, but like, what do restaurants need to chip in? Like, there's nothing in paper, there's nothing in writing that's like, here's who's coming, here's what the costs are, here are the restaurants that are sponsoring it. Because some restaurants are very adamant about not paying at all. And I'm like, I'll pay. Like, I've already spent $3,000. What's another $500 for the year, $600 or $1,000 for the year to get music here and stuff like that? I've already paid the money for all the stuff that I'm not probably going to be able to use now because I don't have room for all these. The tables and chairs, I had more tables and chairs actually come yesterday, and they're sitting outside in the boxes right now, waiting to be put together. But I ordered them before I found out they were canceling Sundays. And then I heard that Fridays might be in jeopardy, and that Saturdays might be the only day that we're doing it. And then I heard that, the money, there's just no money for musicians. So it's an unfortunate situation, our streets. We have our great area in the back that we do. We have our garden. We have tables and chairs back there. We have the fire pit back there. We have the koi pond back there, the garden back there. So we have this amazing area in the back. And it's been busy. We expanded back there this year. We got a bigger tent, and we don't need the streets. We didn't need Ellenville streets last year. We didn't need to do anything out front. We were totally financially okay, business wise, in the back and everything. We do it because we want to be part of the community and make the community better and more fun and more exciting. That's why I shucked oysters out there last year, and that's why I cooked lobsters and clams out there, and made this whole big presentation. That's why I did this. I wanted to make Ellenville better. And a high tide raises all the ships. So Len says, correct. It's called organization. Yeah. Organization, communication. And I went in depth more yesterday about, how they wanted us to do our liquor licenses illegally last year and break the liquor laws last year, the village, and how I made a big stink about it. And if I didn't make a big stink about it, it would have never been done right. It would have jeopardized our liquor licenses all year. Organization. So, and just for the record, I'm not running for mayor. I don't want to be mayor. Jamie won't let me run for a political office, and nor do I really want to run for a political office. But I do want to see positive direction forward here in the village, and I'm concerned about some things in the village. Very concerned about some things in the village. Some things that could be switched up, changed up. Invigorated, things that do need to move forward here in the village. And one thing is the loud music that blasts here through the streets with the cars and everything. We were in Elmira the other day, and their signs are posted. No louder. I think it was 90 decibels or something. Don't quote me on this, but the signs are posted. No music louder than 90 decibels, and it's posted on the streets, right? Not sure how it's enforced, but it's posted, and it's the law. I don't know how they can even track how many decibels music is blasting, but we had problems for years with people just sitting out there blasting music where my building would shake, and guests inside don't want to hear that kind of music with foul language and the walls shaking. Somebody had commented on one of my posts last week that the music was so loud in front of their business that their alarm went off. So, there's an issue with this. There's a big issue with this. And every time the police would give tickets to people in the past, the Judge Parker would just throw them out. I don't know sure if the tickets were written incorrectly or what exactly was happening, but, ticket after ticket just got thrown out and thrown out and thrown out. And you would think that the village board would communicate and figure out, does a law need to be rewritten? Do we need to rewrite the law? How are we going to start enforcing this? How are we going to start making hold these people accountable for it? What are we going to do to actually, help businesses that are having issues with things like that? So, but that's it, folks. I have to get on a couple phone calls here. I have a few more phone calls. Tuesdays is my day that I spend with our coaching clients and help them with their businesses. So I have a call here in a few minutes with Dave, and Dave was live here. So thanks for tuning in, Dave. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Cheryl, Susan, Joel, Len, and everybody else who's on. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And that's it for now. Everybody have an amazing day. We are closed today and tomorrow, closed Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll be back on Thursday. All right, everybody, have a great day.